Peter Rogoff from Sound Transit, and Councilmember Berry, and then Mayor Stokes, and then Mayor Crispin.
I'm going to try to be very brief. I want to ping off something that Judy pointed out, and that is the additional, if you will, excess money that is now sitting in the I-405 pot from the tolling regime. And while there was a lot of heat, light, and noise and politics around that whole tolling exercise, it did point out one thing, and that is there's a universe of users that are ready to pay more. And maybe as difficult as that is politically, we need to, if you really want to address some of these challenges, we need to recognize that there is money being left on the table for those people that will pay for a solution. Not easy, but I would suggest there's also, in terms of how we put that money to use, so I read about it the other day, but I'm still thinking about in terms of those, investment dollars that can go into 405, they are highway dollars, and we at Sound Transit recognize that. But I would argue that the bus rapid transit is basically a highway investment. We designed a very good and excellent bus rapid transit vision for the corridor, but it could be even better potentially with some of that money that would benefit both car users and the bus users. So I say that in the spirit of maybe we need to look, in terms of getting maximum bang for the buck, maybe we need to look at some of these investments on how we are maximizing throughput for both modes. The reality is, as much as some people want to segment this stuff into transit versus highways, the vast majority of people are using both all the time. They're using cars to get to transit. They are using transit Tuesdays and Thursdays and Fridays, and not on Mondays and Wednesdays, and those are our citizens and those who we need to serve. On that whole issue of leaving money on the table, I will tell you it is the policy of the Sound Transit Board to start moving in the direction of charging for parking. We now have a baby step in which we are selling basically guaranteed spots for HOV using parkers. At about 10 of our garages, you can now, for a very low fee, have a guaranteed spot, including those garages that normally fill up at 7:30, if you will have multiple users coming to use the garage. Here again, it's a baby step, but we're going to be moving into charging people as a way to, and then using those dollars to reinvest in the needs of the system, including additional parking. So, here again, money left on the table that we can start commanding to start reinvesting without necessarily an act of the legislature. Finally, I want to put one idea on the table, because I may be the only one at the table who politically can safely put this proposal out there.
You got our attention.
All right. Well, I had this experience this morning. I was driving south on I-5 for a regular 7:30 breakfast I had with my Pierce County board members, and I had a staff person in the car. And only halfway on my way down there did I realize I could use the HOV lane, because I'm not accustomed, being from other parts of the world, of having HOV be acceptable with just 2 occupants. We have HOV 2 around here in a lot of places. It's not the norm. And as a result, we have some of the worst performing HOV lanes in the country in terms of the time benefit. And my Sound Transit Express buses are going nowhere in those HOV lanes during the peak. And I know it's difficult politically, but at some point you're going to need to face down the fact that 2 is not HOV in the vast majority of the rest of the world. And if you really want to get throughput out of those lanes that are already built, perhaps we need to face that down.
Thank you, Peter. Mayor Crispin.
I have 2 things I'd like to offer. First is just a simple recommendation to our King County Metro Connect program. When you folks came to see us, we said, look, we want to give people an alternative to get out of their cars, give them express buses, point to point from the employment centers to where the workers reside. You have applications that I know that are scoped out where all the employees come from to go to different centers. There's no reason why you can't align your buses to that and give people an option so they don't have to drive. Right? That's the first thing. Second thing, though, I'd like to respond a little bit to Mr. Rogoff. You said a lot of things in there that didn't sit very well, me personally, and I'll explain why. You did SB3 and vote for that. It was 80% positive in Seattle. It was not 80% positive on the Eastside by any means. In fact, most of the cities voted against it. Maybe not by a lot, but they voted against it. And when I hear you say that, well, we're going to start charging the people that have to drive, which is mostly people from the east side, to enter into the system, we want to charge them more. They're already paying more than most of those people in Seattle. So I really like you to think of that, all right? Sound Transit did not cover the entire area that's paying for it, but it's voted in, great. We're going to try to support it, and I hope it's extremely successful. And I come from an area of the country where mass transit is everything. I come from New York, and that's what you do. You get on mass transit if you want to really get around the world. So I'm very much in favor of it. But I don't like the fact that you're going to put it on us and say, look, you guys already paid 3 or 4 times what you touted as the cost of Sound Transit, and now they're reward things back for you, unless you're going to give us something back. And if you're not planning to give us something back, like more parking, more ability to get in there, then I think you really, you're not living up to the trust that the voters are putting in.